So, Blue, what do you think about the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness trailers that we've gotten so far?
Oh man, I loved those trailers. They looked great. Both the teaser and the trailer. I personally didn't see a ton wrong with them, but I am a much bigger Marvel fan in general, and I can fanboy about that stuff. But I'm very excited. I really like Strange as a character, and I really like Wanda. She's been one of my favorites, probably since WandaVision. I know WandaVision had its issues, and a lot of people didn't like it. But I love Scarlet Witch as a character. I love Wanda. I love the actress. So I'm excited that she's going to be... It looks like she'll be a lot more involved with this movie, which is really cool. I really like Doctor Strange. I feel like they did him a little dirty in Spider-Man with some of his character choices. So I'm excited to see, hopefully, his recovery from that. But I'm excited for these movies.
I feel very positively about these movies as well. I don't really like what they did with Wanda and WandaVision. I don't like that whole storyline. I get what they were trying to do, but it feels just like kind of a middle. It doesn't feel like a story in of itself. It just feels, for me, it just feels like something that they put as a placeholder until we got more Marvel content. And I feel like it took a long time to set up, and it didn't really execute. But I think that with this trailer, I am all in on this movie because it looks like first of all, it looks like a movie that's made for the movie theater. It looks like it's going to have a ton of great special effects and not just colors on the screen, not just lazy kind of, Michael Bay kind of explosions, but really interesting. Like you could freeze frame it. That's what I like with movies is when you can freeze frame something and you can really study it and you can say, wow, there's a lot going on here. Or, there's really a lot that they're putting into a lot of these scenes. I love the tone of these trailers that we've gotten so far.
For sure.
It's not garbled. It's not weird. There was nothing that really took me out of it. Even I loved the Spider-Man, the most recent Spider-Man movie that came out, No Way Home. But I feel like in those trailers that there were little moments and there were little jokes that didn't land, and I'm just like, the tone was kind of garbled there. I'm excited to see what Sam Raimi does. He directed Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man trilogy. And he hasn't done a lot of superhero stuff since then, so I feel like this could kind of redeem him because Spider-Man 3 was just so awful, and I think he wrote the screenplay for that too. And so that was a sour note to end on. I would like to see him redeem himself with this movie, so I'm very excited as well.
I feel like we've been getting a bit of subpar or just straight bad stuff coming out of Hollywood lately. We recently had Boba Fett. And watching that, it was pretty disappointing for the most part. A few good parts, but a lot of it was pretty bad. We have this Lord of the Rings trailer coming out. It's pretty bad. So I'm really hoping we can finally get something good from Disney, because a lot of times Disney gives us bad stuff. But with Marvel, I do really think they do a good job with Marvel, and I'm excited to see more of this. You know what I'm excited about is the new arc that they're doing now with Marvel about the multiverse. Looking back at the Infinity Stones arc, I really enjoyed that arc with them. However, it took a long time for me to really care about the Infinity Stones. I feel like they didn't really introduce them. It was just superhero movie after superhero movie for years. And then when the Infinity Wars movie came out, then I was finally like, oh cool, this is kind of finally connecting everything. And then we only had like one more movie and the arc was done. So now with this arc, I'm a little more excited that they're getting this multiverse in. And quite a few of the shows, they're really showing us more about it with Spider-Man, with Doctor Strange now. So I'm excited to see more of what they're doing with this arc.
So what I really like about the premise of this movie is that it is self-contained. It will be a self-contained story, but it feels galactically or universally important. So you kind of have the issue in a lot of these superhero films, especially now that they've done the Infinity War saga, that whenever something happens that's kind of earth-shattering, some of the best stories in comic books are of global or galactic significance. And so when something like that happens, it's kind of hard to keep your immersion when in the back of your mind you're thinking, well, where are these other superheroes? Like I'm looking at a Spider-Man movie, and if something too big happens, you would think in the past, well, where's Iron Man? Well, where's all these other heroes? Where's Hulk? What are they doing right now? Like they should be here fixing this. But what I really love about this is that this is kind of his world. Like, this is what he's trained for. No one else, like Iron Man's not going to go try to fix the multiverse. You know, at least not, he wouldn't have the knowledge. He's not the keeper of the multiverse, kind of like Doctor Strange is. He's not tied into that world. So something very big and significant, and it feels like the stakes are very high, but it's not going to be an issue where I'm thinking throughout the whole movie, well, where's Captain Marvel? Or, where are all these, supremely powerful beings like Thor or whatever? So that's what I love, is that I know that I can sit in this movie and I'm not really going to be taken out of it by that fact. Yeah, that influences me in a lot of other movies as well. So there were some interesting things that happened, I think, in the first full trailer. I get the vibes that, I watched the Loki show on Disney Plus, and at the end of that, spoiler alert, but they introduce Kang the Conqueror, and they introduce this multiverse thing, and it feels very similar to what they set up there. Basically, that he runs in. What I get the impression of is that he runs into a version of himself that's become kind of like Kang the Conqueror. That he's like a master of the multiverse, and he's gone evil. So he's got to defeat this evil version of himself, kind of like where you saw Kang. He won against all the other Kangs, and he was able to keep it all in order now. And then he allowed himself to be killed, and that brought the chaos. But a very similar premise. I just think it looks like a better version of that, to be honest with you. Like, the way that unfolded, the premise was cool, but the execution, it was kind of silly and weird. And I feel like this is very intriguing, and for him to fight himself is really cool. The other antagonist that they're setting up here is Wanda. It seems like she's an antagonist, kind of, or that she's struggling with this. And I don't know how I feel about her logic. She says that line, "You break the rules, you become the hero. I do it, I become the enemy." I'm like, well, what they did, and I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm missing context. Right. You can't really get a lot of context from the trailer, but she enslaved a town. And if she's referring to what he did in Spider-Man, he just messed up a spell, and he was trying to help someone when he was doing it. So it seems like different stakes here. Like, I don't know if we're really going to be able to sympathize with her motivations.
Yeah, I feel like it is a different thing she's talking about. I don't know for sure, but I feel like that we're missing context on that one.
Yeah, it should be a different thing that she's talking about. I feel like we could probably agree that if it is that, then that seems kind of silly for her to be like, we basically did the same thing. No, you did something very egregiously bad, and he did something that was an accident. Like, you did something intentionally, and it was out of grief, or it was out of, all these, she has her motivations for doing it, but yeah, they're two different.
Overall on the trailer, though, I thought it was great. Did you have any concerns on the trailer?
I didn't see anything in it that concerned me. I didn't really see anything that... you've got this... I think her name is America Chavez, is going to be like the little sidekick here. So that'll be interesting to see how they develop that character. I'm very open-minded here. I haven't heard any rumors or anything about any issues with filming. I think this has been delayed because of the pandemic. So they've had plenty of time to work on these special effects. So I'm really looking forward. This is definitely a good or going to be a great movie theater experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a movie that I head downstate to the IMAX and watch, because it should be a great movie theater experience, and I'm definitely excited for it. So stay tuned. We'll probably do a review when the movie comes out, give our thoughts on it, do a nice discussion on the highlights and the lowlights if there are any, and what we think about it.
Let us know what you think of Doctor Strange. Are you looking forward to this movie? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. We'll catch you next time.